Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to Lilyleaf11. So today I'm super excited. I have Latha, spiritual strategist, the creator of the 24/7 manifestation method. Hello.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining me. I am really excited to talk to you today because I just jumped on your Instagram and I was like, wow, like it's so much fun. It was totally my vibe. You were talking about chakras and starseeds and manifestations, and I was like, yep. This is the fun stuff that I love. This is what gets me excited. And yeah, so I was just wondering, have you kind of been aware of all of this stuff all your life, or did you have this profound awakening or little drip feeds of it's interesting? So yeah, how's it been for you?
That's a great question. Actually, I was raised by a woman who was a healer. My grandmother, who was essentially a healer and a wise woman of her space. And she taught me a lot of what I know that blends, just ideas from ancient times in India, Ayurveda, different yoga and healing modalities. It was just really like integrated into everyday life. And that's how, I was raised in my family. And it wasn't until I was a teenager, a little bit older than a teenager, early 20s, that I really started to understand that wait, not other people don't necessarily know this and have an understanding of all of this stuff. And a lot of it is based on our energy field, our chakras, how we interact with the world, how we understand our mind, body, and spirit to work together. And a lot of times I would see it depicted as each one is so separate. And just coming from that space and then learning so much on my own and having some incredible guides and mentors and coaches over the years, I've been really, really blessed to be able to do that. It's absolutely formed who I am today.
Mm, that's amazing. Yeah, it's so nice to have that growing up as well, having that understanding. I just feel like if we were taught all of this at school, things would be so different. Just tuning into your body, your feelings, just knowing ourselves instead of looking in the outside world. So yeah, that's super exciting. So when you started this 24/7 manifestation method, was there something that kind of came up for you, this spark, like this inspired action that made you think, it's not working, like the manifestations aren't working for everybody. Maybe we need to like tweak it a bit. So how did you come up with
That was
this?
ex- that was exactly it. You're so like you hit the nail right on that. That was exactly what it is because I wanted to create something that was a strategy, that was a formula that was repeatable again and again for people to do. Because my work largely blends neuroscience and spirituality. I want to help people to really understand how they can transform their lives, that it actually happens. I want you to get the results, right? So that's where this methodology came around because understanding science and the way that the brain works, I could really blend the two worlds together. And that's exactly how this happened. And now I get the opportunity to actually teach this methodology on retreats. I've written a book about it, I've made videos about it. It is so potent and powerful for people to be able to have this understanding because it lays the foundational work for how they can then step up into the next level of really achieving their dreams.
Yeah, so for people that aren't familiar with your method, have you got a few ways of defining it maybe, or a few tips and tricks for us?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a simple, and I can tell you like the baseline of it. It's so you're writing it down a powerful affirmation that's in the positive present tense 24 times in the morning and 24 times in the evening. And this timing really matters because you want to hit a special state of time of consciousness. It's called a hypnagogic state. And that is the state of time between rest and wakefulness. So this means that as soon as you wake up in the morning, before you've gotten up out of bed, you've just opened your eyes, you roll over and you grab your pen and you start to write down your affirmation 24 times. It also means that right before you go to bed at night, you grab your pen, you write down your affirmations, and you go to bed. Now, this is really powerful because of that space of time, that's hypnagogic state. That's when your subconscious is the most impressionable. So when we are impressing upon it, an idea that is stating what it is that we are manifesting. Maybe it's, I am so happy and grateful now that I have an incredibly loving partner. I am so happy and grateful now that I have an additional $10,000 in the bank, right? Whatever our affirmation is that we're working towards, when we're really impressing our subconscious into that, it becomes more so our default state of thinking. Because when we're in the space of thinking, it's either we're thinking consciously or we're just like functioning and manifesting from our default state. We're always manifesting though 24/7. So when we're doing this methodology, and we do it particularly for 7 days, that's we're doing 24 times in the morning, 24 times in the evening for 7 days in a row. And it's with that consistency and that routine that our subconscious actually starts to really shift. There's a dynamic shift that happens, and things start to the way that we see the world starts to change. Now, not everybody's manifestation comes to fruition within those 7 day period, but I'll say that significant amount of change happens within us so that we start to think different, our beliefs shift, and when those two things shift, our actions shift. And when our actions shift, guess what? The world sees us differently and we see the world differently. So things start to open up that maybe wouldn't have in the past.
Yeah, no, that is super helpful. I find some people don't even they're not even aware that they are manifesting all of the time. But it's not what you want. So it would be nice to, actually consciously, you're talking about subconscious, which is where it all begins, and consciously be able to create what we want rather than keep creating what we don't want. And I think, yeah, it's just kind of that routine as well of keep kind of doing it, because I remember when I was doing, I don't know, our yoga teacher got us to do this. It was like a meditation, and we just did it so consistently. It was like a kind of, manifesting meditation. But because we were doing it at the same time, that same time as and space, and yeah, we started really creating a lot. We started winning, winning things, and getting free stuff. Yeah, I think I don't know. It definitely works. So, but I love your method. It feels really, profound but simplistic at the same time. Like, that's what you want. Yeah,
I
people
mean,
don't want it to be hard.
that's right, and that's exactly why it was created, because I even wrote the book, The 24/7 Manifestation Method, because I saw so many people that were doing all of the right things,
Mhm.
right, about manifesting. They're maybe making vision boards and writing affirmations and trying to stay positive, but they still were stuck. They still felt stuck and they were stuck. Their manifestations, there was no movement there. What I actually discovered is that manifestation is not really about wanting something badly enough. We all want things, but it's about changing the identity and the subconscious level, the subconscious patterns that actually determine that we feel safe in having what it is. We become familiar with it. And with that methodology that I just explained, that's when we increase our familiarity with it. So I wanted to create this method that was simple and practical and just easy, right? And also rooted in both science and spirituality. It goes hand in hand for me. So when I came up with this, I was like, oh my God, this is perfect, because one thing that makes the method so unique is that it's actually grounded in neuroscience, because the brain is so amazing. It's so interesting, and it's capable of neuroplasticity, which means that it can absolutely reorganize and form new neural pathways throughout life. So, by repeating the same identity based affirmation again and again during this highly influential part of our day, of our brain state, we actually end up strengthening these patterns of thought and behavior. And at the same time, in our brain, there's a system called the reticular activating system that begins to firing in our brain, and it starts to actually start to filter for opportunities that are going to become evidence that support that new identity that we've created. So it's so simple and it's so deep. Like, it goes so deep.
Yeah, I think, yeah, it sounds amazing, because I find, like, I think same as you, working with a lot of what we would label as light workers, starseeds, a lot of kind of souls that aren't used to this dense, heavy energy, that have kind of come from higher realms, and even, not even working with money. money. A lot of souls haven't even experienced money, so it's really hard for them to even be in their bodies, let alone manifest what they want. So this seems like a method that is kind of aligned with those souls that have been struggling, because, like you said, everyone does the vision boards, and they're doing their meditations, and they're trying to be positive, and they're like, I'm so freaking positive. It's like, so yeah,
Yeah.
I love that. So,
You know, the thing is, the biggest misconception is that manifestation is about wishing, right? And then wishing and waiting. We're wishing and waiting. No, in reality, manifestation is absolutely identity based. It's an identity based process. You do not manifest what you simply want, but you're manifesting what your nervous system actually believes is safe for you to have, for your identity to feel and to be sustained in. And that's why so much of my work is actually focused on regulating the nervous system and helping people to understand their subconscious beliefs, because like you were saying, everything starts in the subconscious, everything starts in our head before we can see it in our reality.
Yeah, definitely. I've been listening to and reading a little bit of the old Neville Goddard stuff from,
Yes.
very, very old work, but it's really profound. And basically, he's saying you just need to already be that person. You already need to have been the person that has that thing you want last year. That's old news. You had it a year ago. So, and I know you know Erin Lyons as well. She's following you on Instagram. Erin Lyons is one of my ultimate favorites, and she's so good at describing how just to be that person, already have it, and I love that. Sometimes I think it's hard when we're so trained on looking in the outside world, and we're seeing that we don't have something. So it's really about going within as well now. So yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
amazing. So
And Erin is amazing, so I'm glad you brought her
yeah.
up. She's one of my friends. I absolutely love her. She's fantastic. I love everything she's doing, and just, how she teaches and how she puts her energy into the world is so beautiful. And I mean, I always tell her, like, it's so beautiful to watch her step into this evolution of motherhood with her beautiful baby and her part. I mean, I love everything about her. So yeah, I'm so glad that we have that
Yeah,
connection.
it's
It's
just
amazing.
it so excites me to see so many incredible people out there. You don't realize until you start opening up to it all, and there's so many like-minded souls, and it just makes me so much more comfortable and confident, because you're not alone. You're not crazy. I mean, my my show is called Crazy or Awakening just because at the beginning you can feel crazy, but people need to know that they're not, and it's okay, and just to keep going. So do you have, like, a success story? Like, I mean, obviously yourself, you could
Yeah.
yourself.
Oh my god, tons of success stories I can tell you about. I mean, especially when we do this at retreats, right? Because usually our retreats are 6 or 7 days, and people will come through and we'll do the methodology along with all of the other amazing stuff that we do. We go on adventures, and, we'll go, visit waterfalls, and I'll bring in indigenous healers and different people that can facilitate different things for us throughout the day. But this is one of the main components of it, the 24/7 manifestation method. I've been doing this, integrating into the retreats for the past few years now, and, people come through and they're just like, okay, yeah, like whatever, I'm here, so I'll do it. But I don't really kind of believe in it, but I'll do it. I'm like, fine, right? Like, let's just do it anyways. You're here anyways, let's just do it. So they end up doing it, and they're just like, I'm doing it. And my arm is tired. This sucks, whatever their complaint is about it. We get through the 7 days. And inevitably, those are the people that I will hear from in 3 months, 6 months, a year later. And they're just like, you'll never believe this. And I always say, I bet you I will, So then they'll come to me with a story of, hey, my manifestation that I was working on when we were in Costa Rica or when we were in Bali or when we were wherever, was that I was going to become completely debt free. And at the time, I didn't see a way that that was going to happen. But I'm 6 months out now from the retreat, and I have a plan that is in place and is rolling. And now in the next 3 months, I'm going to be completely debt free. And I'm always like, like, this is so amazing. And I believe it, but I'm always still in this space of deep gratitude. And I feel it's so profound. And I'm always like excited, by their shifts, right? We've had people come through the retreats and done the 24/7 manifestation method, and a year later have completely shifted their relationship with their body. One woman has had lost 100 pounds in less than a year naturally, right? Like the way that she thought had shifted so much that she was able to release this, a weight that she was carrying. I would say like more of like a darkness or an energy or a pain that she was carrying around her body. And as soon as she was able to put that down, she no longer needed the physical weight there either and was able to easily drop that. We've had times that people have, and I've done this method so many times too, and I've been able to manifest so much in my life. And one of the things that I actually had originally started this on, I use this methodology on myself before I ever taught anybody else it, right? I wanted to make sure it worked, and I just kind of was very curious on this. Was really finding my partner, my husband. We've been married now for over 10 years. We have four incredible kids. We have a grandbaby. Like we have this whole life that we've built. But I'll tell you that before I met him, I was married to someone else, and guess what? It wasn't so good. It actually, my relationship ended in divorce due to some infidelity and things like that. And I was so crushed. I was crushed about love and about what a relationship could be. But I had then sat down and done this methodology and really understood what I wanted in a partner. And in that process, it was, I think, a few months later that I actually met him in real life. And the thing was, like, he already existed in the world, obviously. I already existed in the world. But the understanding of my own brain that it was capable to be loved, that there was people out there are good people out there that don't cheat, like that there was someone that wanted a monogamistic relationship or wanted to have a family or all of the things that I really truly wanted in my heart of hearts actually existed. And when that shifted my subconscious, it was just, like, obvious that he was there in my life. I met him in an art gallery actually, and we have a cute little story about how we met, but it was just like he existed in the world before that, and I existed in the world before that, but it was just like the sinking of my mind to understand what it was that was there and available. Because prior to that, I was heartbroken, and my main belief that was in my subconscious at the time was I'm not lovable. Everybody cheats. Nobody wants to be in a relationship, all of that. And that was the story that I was stuck in for the longest time. And it wasn't until I was shifted that my life actually shifted on the outside. And I see it time and time again with people.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing because yeah, I think it just shows like don't give up. You have to just really believe in yourself as well because I know everybody's been through so many things and sometimes you're done. I'm finding there's a lot of especially kind of starseed souls that I've been tuning into and they're just like I just can't keep doing this anymore and I'm just like you can do this. You can have the shittiest time, but then it can really turn around. You just have to believe it. But the guides lately have been really showing me like they used to show me like the auric layers of auric fields. And now they're showing me the layers of stories. So it's like everybody has a story. It's not just one story. It's so many, so many. They kind of describe it. I've said before, it's like having layers of coats on, so you've just got like 100 raincoats on and you can't actually feel the higher realms but they're still there and it's just layers and layers and layers and they're just all these story layers of I'm this, I'm that, this is who I am, and it's not really who you are. And so you can start to peel off those story layers and you can add some on, you can add different ones, add different stories. Obviously a lot of people talk about that. We're in like, it could be, a simulation, a holographic
Mhm.
dreamscape, a game. I always get told an advanced PlayStation game for souls, a movie, a play. So, what is that next scene that, actually, we should say, what is it already, not what's the next, if we collapse time and space. And I think I was
Yeah.
listening to Erin the other day. She said, don't even need to quantum leap because leaping implies that like it hasn't already happened and you got to go somewhere to get it. You've got to believe you've already got it. So,
Mhm. Yeah. And embodying it. And this is why this message matters so much right now
mm,
because we live in this time when so many people are feeling overwhelmed, they're feeling disconnected from themselves, and they know that they're meant for something more, something bigger. They know that they're not just here for whatever's happening in their life, right? But they're not sure how to actually bridge that gap to make that to collapse that timeline really. And the 24/7 method offers exactly that simple daily practice that helps people to rewrite their beliefs, their internal beliefs, regulate their nervous system, and to truly become that person that is capable of creating a life that they actually desire, of shifting their identity. And that makes such a difference. It's exactly that. I noticed that as well. I feel like people feel very, very disconnected and a little bit maybe downtrodden as well. And I have the same message too. I want people to understand that there's more to life, and there's so much beauty that can be harnessed and experienced.
Yeah, I mean, we always get told, I mean, my guides always show me, we came in, we volunteered. We chose it, and now we're like, "Ah, I wanna get out of here." But we can't we came here for a reason. We might as well be here, and it's funny because I do crystal Reiki, but I do have someone that helps me with Reiki for myself. I have a couple of people actually. I'm high maintenance. But she's one of them's always like, "Okay, get back in your body. Get in your body. You're not in your body. Get back in your body." Like every 5, even literally 5 minutes, she'll be like, "Get back in your body." And I am not in my body. So this is half the problem as well. If we're not really stepping into this realm reality, then how are we going to manifest? Because you can't, if you're not fully embodied, and that's another challenge. So I feel like the methods like you have with the 24/7 manifestation method, I think that really brings you back into yourself, into who you are, so you can step into yourself daily. Because I've had to try and find even more routines of grounding myself and getting into my body. And I've also had to say now to my guides, I've had to say, okay, I'm not open 24/7. I'm not open for them to be contacting me or distracting me, or I need to really focus on my own life as well now. Because they're like, "Look over here at this realm. Look over here at this realm. Oh, this is pretty. Oh, I'm in the crystal caves. Where am I?" And I wasn't even embodied, like I said. So I think your method sounds like something I really need to try.
Yeah, try it. And I mean, what I shared here is literally the baseline of it, right? In the book, there's like so much more it goes
Yeah.
into and it explains about really tapping into it. And we have some really incredible stories too that I share from retreats and people that have had these, truly amazing awakening experiences through this methodology, and just to better understand how things shift, because it's not just as simple as, oh, write things down and things kind of change, right? It is, but it isn't. I always want to keep things practical, but I want to encourage listeners to go out and grab the book. Right now, it's available for pre-order. It's coming out in October of 2026. So if you can, it's available on Amazon. I can post the link. I can send you guys the link, and you can see it. Even if you are following me on Instagram, I always will have the link there because I want people to be able to have access to this and get the information itself.
It sounds awesome. So you obviously, you understand star seeds, and we were saying at the beginning, before we jumped on, I don't like to label too much, but then sometimes on Earth it's quite nice to define a little, have a little definition. But, star seeds for me are souls that are kind of connected to, like, we're all connected to the cosmos, obviously, but it's like they're more aware, and they're kind of planting the seeds of that cosmic energy within this Earth grid. And when I just jumped on Instagram, I heard you saying something about a star seed being a seed, and I thought that was beautiful. And it's not just about being that seed; it's about growing into. something amazing. And I was saying before, my lily leaf stands for the lotus flower, where it starts off in the mud, in the icky mess, and then it turns into this beautiful flower. And I feel like that's what we're doing. But yeah, I loved what you were saying about the star seeds, kind of
Yeah.
the seeds growing. Yeah.
And it's the future potential, right? A seed is the potential for a big tree to grow out of, and just like that, I think that we are like the seed of the cosmos coming here to earth to plant and grow and create something beautiful here. And it's so important to remember that, and not just take the label of starseed and just forever be a seed. Turn into the star tree, turn into this, bear your star fruits as a gift for those here. I think there's so much more to it than just understanding that there's a connection. I think that there's more of a mission, There's a reason that we're here, and really tapping it into that and understanding that I truly believe that our largest mission is one of unity and connection, and for us to really be connected to one another as a people, to be connected to the earth, to be connected to the land and the water and the sea, and like everything together, and to understand that we're not so separate, and that just as we were created with the cosmos, the earth was created with the cosmos, the trees were created in the same way, and it's our whole mission, our whole purpose, the way that we win this game, if we're playing, talking on video game terms, is really to have that ultimate connection and understanding and respect for one another.
Yeah, it's amazing because yeah, there's all those pictures up online where you can see, like, we are the cosmos. We look like, parts of us look like the galaxy, and, the neurons in our brain, galaxies. It's just, honestly, it's amazing how everything is just one kind of connected, microcosm, macrocosm. It's just, yeah. No, that's amazing. And so, I heard you also talking about chakra systems. Do you pronounce it chakras, chakras? I mean, I change it up a bit. I love I
So
love them chakras.
So the word chakra
Yeah.
itself is a Sanskrit word, and every word from Sanskrit is pronounced a particular way, and the pronunciation matters because it's like the way it's the energy that you're putting out into the world with each word. So it's chakra, and it comes from the word chakram. Chakram is a wheel. So it's like, oh, it's the wheel. It's an energy wheel in our body. That's how it's seen as. Yes. So chakra is how I
Good.
say it.
Yeah, 'cause I didn't wanna get it wrong. My Reiki teacher actually taught me to say chakra. So yeah, and I loved how it rolled off the tongue, but I still want to learn even more. I can tune into them at an energetic level, but then sometimes the words, don't quite match. I kind of see them as little energy vortexes, and I just see them everywhere in fingers and toes and e everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I think that it's really special to understand chakras in general and how they all work together. There's actually like over 100 in the body. We mainly talk about the main seven, right? That are we feel are in alignment, but also to understand that like chakras occur in pairs. And when you're really balancing them, there's not necessarily a blockage. When I hear people talking about oh, this chakra is blocked for me, my throat chakra is blocked for me, I was like, it's not blocked. If it was blocked, you'd be dead, right? There's always energy flowing there. It's just this it's an imbalance that occurs. There's an imbalance. Either it's overactive, it's underactive. It's like a pipe with water flowing through it. It's either too much water or too little water. Something's happening. There's a kink. Let's figure out what's going on. But there's always like an energy that's flowing there. And really being able to understand that, the bottom three chakras that are really like earth based, that are really like our physical form based, the heart chakra, and then the top three chakras are more like the spiritual side of things. If you think about it, the crown, the eye, the third eye, and the throat, it's all like much more spiritual and cosmic based. So it's like the heart that connects the cosmos to the earth. It's always like such a beautiful understanding of the main seven to understand it in that way.
Yeah, I've quite often been told that I'm in my higher chakras. And, I thought, oh, that would be a good thing. But everyone's like, no, because it's the same thing as I was saying before. In order to manifest, you need to be grounded into the lower chakras as well. And they all need to be flowing, like you said. They all need to feel like they're connected. And yeah, when you were saying that, I was kind of seeing quite often the guides show me like a river, and there's just kind of like little river stones that it's not like it's blocking the river. The river is still flowing, but it kind of makes, the river kind of slow down a little bit or go to the left or go to the right. And it's not quite as smooth as it could be. So, yeah, I think it's really valuable to kind of tune in and align yourself, completely align yourself. But I know it is challenging in our world.
Yeah, well, I mean, the pairing that I meant, do you mind if I kind of go through that
Oh,
pairing a little
please.
bit?
Yes, please do.
Okay, cool. So of the 7, and we'll consider the heart as the middle one, but of the 7, the other 6 really pair up with each other. So the root chakra, Muladhara chakra, and the crown chakra kind of pair up together. That's safety and our spiritual connection. So the root chakra, located in the base of the spine, it's associated with survival, with grounding, with a sense of security. And the crown chakra is located at the top of the head. It's associated with spiritual connection, with meaning, with a sense of unity, that sense of unity that I was mentioning. So these two are important. They're important polarities, essentially. And the root chakra is asking the space of, am I safe here? And the crown chakra is asking, am I connected to something that's greater than me? So many people try to access the higher states of consciousness without first understanding that stability is needed, and that creating that stable aspect in their lives is really important. But spiritual insight is much easier to integrate when our nervous system actually feels safe and we feel like we have that stability, that sense of stability. And I often say that you have to create the roots before you can create the wings. To access higher spaces, you have to have that sense of stability, that rootedness to you.
Yeah, that's what I got told, that I would go higher if I was grounded. So the more I kind of created those roots going into Gaia, central sun, the more I was connected to the Earth star, then the more I would go higher up, soul star, and kind of connect to all of my guides. So, but I think what happens quite often with, starseeds, light workers, highly sensitive, souls that have this, it's a expanded awareness where it's like a highly sensitivity. I think when you come in and you can see things, feel things, sense things, like I could just feel so much that I did not want to, like, it's probably that not feeling safe. I didn't feel safe because there was too much going on, too much suffering, and there's no way I wanted to ground myself here not into this reality. I was like, oh, no, this energy is far too dense. I'm seeing all of these crazy things from the shadow that are going on. I'm like, oh no, I don't want to be here. I want to be up in the higher realms. It's so much more beautiful, blissful, fun, love and light. And it was almost like, what people might call a spiritual bypass, where you just want to go into the love and light all the time, and you don't
Oh yeah.
really want to connect to earth.
Actually do the work. Yeah, I think that's a sign of that you're a human being.
Thank you.
Everybody, nobody wants to suffer. Nobody wants to go through that tough stuff. We all want to be able to, eat the ice cream without having to milk the cow. But it's like a whole process that we go through to be able to, enjoy. And one doesn't exist without the other. The enjoyment can't exist without the suffering aspect. The suffering can't exist without the payoff of the enjoyment, right? It's all really connected.
Yeah, I keep seeing that the battery, a battery has the positive and the negative, and
Right.
I hear there's always a positive to the negative, and obviously always a negative to the positive. So, but I
Yes.
think I think what I keep seeing is, now that we are more awakening and expanding our consciousness, we're kind of drawing out the shadow side. So that means we're seeing more of it, but when you're bringing in more light, you're gonna see more of the darkness. So it's actually a really good thing that we are seeing so much more. It might seem crazy, and I know that a lot of it is probably controlled by what we're seeing as well. You're seeing a lot of fake stuff that's not even really happening. But we've been drawn, into the light. So we are observing the darkness, but we don't need to fully become like that, stay in that anger, stay in that frustration and worry and fear and sadness. Obviously, those are our, emotions are our superpowers, I feel. But how long do we want to really stay in that? That feeling of that frustration feeling when we have the power to shift and at any moment change at any moment. So, yeah.
No. Yeah. And so perfect. This is a perfect segue into talking about the next two chakra
Oh,
pairs, because it's all about this creativity and intuition and emotion, just exactly how you were saying. Because when we think about it, the sacral chakra, it's linked to emotion, to pleasure, to sensuality and creative flow. And then the third eye chakra, which it pairs with so beautifully, is associated with intuition, that inner vision, that perception, that those what we actually see in our mind's eye. And the sacral chakra generates that raw creative energy, while the third eye chakra gives the energy direction and insight. The next steps is how we're moving forward. So when these two are balanced, you are both imaginative and discerning. And you can feel deeply while also trusting that inner guidance. So it's like exactly what you were just mentioning. I love that.
yeah, I love it. I mean, it's so nice to share as well. I reckon share how, like, what everyone's going through and how they're feeling, and just knowing that you don't have to be stuck. There's so many opportunities, options. There's so many things that can really support your journey because we're not alone. And I think that sometimes we feel like we're alone because we're so used to this the high frequencies have just this loving, soothing embrace. It's just complete unconditional love. There's no judgment. There's not that feeling of fear because you know that you are all that is and that you're eternal and that you're going to be totally fine. But I think sometimes when you're living in this reality, you just have that. It's so opposite. It's the opposite to who we truly are. And yeah, you just have this feeling of aloneness sometimes. And I just really want everyone to know that they're not alone, that we are here for you. There's so many of us now. It's crazy. We're out of control. We're just
Yeah.
here. We are here. We're doing it.
There's so much unity in the world when we actually start to look for it and see. And I always call it collecting evidence. As we continue to collect evidence that it exists, we'll see more and more and more of it in our lives. That's actually an aspect of manifestation as well. The more that we attune ourselves to see something, the more we actually start to see it. Where our energy goes, grows, where our focus goes, grows. That's like one of the main concepts, right? So as we're putting more energy and thought and focus on our community building, on our rights activating, on the joy and happiness in our life increasing, on our own authentic self-expression happening, all of that starts to increase a little more and a little more and a little more. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I just sometimes I feel that, as we are awakening, we're seeing the light and the dark. We're realizing there is both. And I know it can put people off sometimes because there's something they're so excited about and so feel really good about, and then you'll see the opposite to that. Um, you know, you'll be like, "But I thought that was a good thing." So I think it's definitely about, what are you keeping, what are you focusing on? And what are you allowing to trigger you as well? Then yes, there might be an opposite that comes in, but it might just be a reflection of, no, actually, no, I'm going to just continue on this path. I like it. I don't care. I don't care what everyone else is saying about this thing. And if you change your mind in a year, that's fine. It's okay. We're
Oh yeah.
evolving,
Yeah,
we
changing your mind is great. I
yeah.
I always want to tell people that, because I think sometimes we get scared of manifesting anything because we said, well, what if I get it and I don't want it anymore, or I change
Mm.
my mind?" I am the biggest fan of changing your mind. Been so many times that I have manifested something. Just, I mean, a few years ago, I manifested living on a farm. We bought this beautiful farm. It was 15 acres. Like it had a spring coming through it and a horse barn and
Mm.
just the sweetest little farm ever. And we lived on it for about 2 years. And guess what? I realized I had the insight come through me that I'm not a farmer. And that life was super hard on me. And I wasn't really aligned with what I wanted to continue to create in my life. And it was okay to change what I wanted. It's okay to change my manifestation. It's okay to create something new. We don't have to create something and then think this is what it will have to be forever. It's okay to shift. It's okay to zig and zag and pivot when necessary.
Yeah, I think that's a great example because sometimes we think, oh, but the guides sent us signs. There's been synchronicities. Like that was the thing I thought I was meant to do. But maybe you're leveling up. Maybe you gave that a quick go, or you decided, no, that wasn't for me. And then we've also got to realize that we are creating whatever we're resonating on, whatever frequency we're on, is what we're creating. So the guides might just send us a sign of where we're at. It might not actually be our highest, you know, timeline frequency line. So we've really got to tune in as well to see where we're at, how we're feeling, and what do we actually think of ourselves? Do we think that we deserve that higher thing? I want everyone to know that you don't have to limit yourself anymore. It's you don't have to, like, you can jump. You actually can. I feel like we've all been bending bending down, our knees are being bent, and now we are ready to really jump and leap into our true selves and our highest timeline. It's always hard to say timeline when there is no time, but our highest frequency line, as sometimes I call them. But yeah, we've just got these so many opportunities. We are quantum beings. Everything is already created. It's already here waiting for us. So it's a choose your own adventure. What do you want to choose?
Yes.
I'm so sick of limiting myself. All of a sudden I was like, no, I can be more, and then all of a sudden, here I am on a podcast. I'm like, "Well, that's not what I expected, but maybe I did, I don't know." I thought I was just gonna be doing the one-on-one sessions, and I kinda said to my guides, "You showed me I was doing one-on-one sessions, and now here I am doing a podcast." And they're like, "Well, you're still doing the one-on-one sessions, aren't you?" Like, so, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Honestly, you just never know where you're gonna end up sometimes.
I mean, sometimes the journey that you take is the reason that you're taking it, right? It's who you become along the way. I don't think that I was meant to, end up on that farm, but I think I learned a lot of skills and a lot of truths about myself and about I had a lot of contrast as well, understanding better of what I wanted, what I didn't want in my life. And I mean, it was a pivotal place for me to be at that time, which I can identify wasn't forever, right? I still love that period of time. I love that experience. That's where we had so many firsts. That's where we had, actually one of my babies was born on that farm. And, we had so many beautiful, beautiful experiences on that farm. And I was able to identify when that was complete, it was complete. And it was on to the next, right? We can be able to shift and move and be able to create something brand new for ourselves without having fear or being constrained by that anything we create has to be the end of the destination of what it is. I don't think any of us ever know what the destination is for anything. It's all little points that we stop at along the way and we kind of just figure it out in between.
Yeah, definitely. The tiny moments, the tiny steps, you know, breadcrumbs of excitement for sure. Yeah, that's funny because we used to have a little farm as well, and we brought it because it had a stream. There was a picture of a stream, and I thought, wow, I mean, I've got 10 acres. This is going to be amazing. I could tell everyone I had 10 acres, and then it was cold. There was a big hill. There was no sun. Yeah, it was just such hard work. That there was sheep. I was like, oh, I was vegetarian. I was like, and the guys were calling the sheep Minty and Shanky. I was like, oh, it's just, there was cows over the road. It was too much. Yeah. And it was too far to
Yeah.
drive. So but no, but anyone that has a farm,
Yes.
no, well done. Well done.
Oh, yeah, it gave me such an insight and a respect, a deep respect for
Oh,
farmers and the people that actually continue to do it because it is so sacrificial,
oh,
right? Regardless of the money or anything else that comes from it, there is so much effort and time and blood, sweat, and tears that go into being a farmer. And I quickly realized, like, you can't do this on your own, right? It was just me, my husband, and my 2 children at the time until we had the 3rd, and I was like, "This is so tough on us as a human being, as a family." I remember there was days that my husband would chop wood literally all day. I was like, anytime he had a free moment, he's like, "I gotta go chop wood," because we needed to stack the wood so we would have stuff to burn for the winter and get through the winters here in Pennsylvania. It was really hard, and, I wouldn't I know that it's not for me, but I always thought it was for me, and had I not experienced it, I would still have this feeling of like, "Man, I should have became a farmer." Now I know I'm not meant to be a farmer. I'm meant to honor the farmers that exist, that wanna do it, that wanna lean into it, that wanna do that. Absolutely.
yeah, definitely. You never know. Sometimes I feel like it's worth the experience because then you know what you like and what you don't like. And then at the same time, be careful what you wish for. It's like, is that really what you want? I think as we kind of grow our conscious awareness, we can tune in. It's almost like you can just visualize yourself being that, being that farmer and being that person and saying, putting yourself in their shoes and think, is this really, really, really what I want? So we can probably save ourselves a lot more, a lot more of the stress. But like you said, the experience, I would never change that for the world of having my first child on the farm. Even just I used to love driving on the gravel roads because it was like being like speedway, like it was fun. A rally driver, yeah. Oh, shouldn't really say that, should I? It's probably not it was probably not appropriate, but back in the younger days, I was a bit of a rebel.
Uh,
Yeah, oh, no, that's awesome. So your book's obviously coming out,
yep.
October. Yes, awesome. That's exciting
Yeah,
stuff.
it's coming
Oh,
out October 6th. I'm
yeah,
very excited about it.
cool.
And I hope that anybody's listening is open to pre-ordering it and just getting to see and learn more information about it. There's also going to be some really incredible bonuses that are offered to people that are purchasing the book. I have a full-on online course that I'm going to be providing for people that purchase the book. And it's just I want to pour into people that are looking to understand manifestation at a deeper level, that are looking to understand the neuroscience connection and how to really do it in a practical way and to have the results in their life. I want to support those people. So that's one of the reasons that I've created so many amazing bonuses that come along when you purchase the book.
Sounds great. So can people purchase the course separately, or do they need to buy the book
Right now, it's only for when you
with the book?
purchase
Yeah,
the book.
cool.
The book.
And then you have retreats. So you said 3, normally about 3 a year?
It depends. It varies year to
Yeah.
year, but yeah, on average, I do 3. This year
Yeah.
we did Costa Rica. We're doing one in Texas actually coming up called Spiritual Safari, which is a lot of fun. And we have one coming up in September that's based in Bali. But next
Oh,
year I'm doing, I think, a couple in Costa Rica, and we're going to be bouncing around to see, what really fits and what people want to do. But I have a lot of fun hosting retreats. I've been actually hosting retreats for a little bit over 25 years now.
oh,
So it's been a long time of really like leaning into my passion and being able to gather people and community and doing some really fun, incredible things. And I love to do it. I love to see the transformations that occur in people when we do have this space. I always see retreats as like a capsule of time, a space that we can come into and be our truly authentic selves and have all of this work done. And all of my retreats are really spiritual based, right? Any one of them has a deep spiritual component into it with variations of, activities or whatever we're doing. That's usually, or where we're at. Those are the things that kind of change. But the root basis of it is always the idea that we can transform our lives and transform ourselves and to understand manifestation at a deeper level.
I wanna come. My gosh, but September is my birthday in September. Darling,
When's your
Costa
birthday?
Yeah, September 29th, Libran.
No. No way. My birthday's September 29th.
Boom. Oh my
Wow,
gosh. Okay, well,
that's funny.
that was meant to be. Oh, got the chills there. Oh my gosh, that is awesome. So you're kind of balanced then? The Libran balance? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I've been told quite a lot of times that I'm a frequency modulator. So and that's something I did in a past lives as well. I can see in kind of cosmic lives. It was about kind of keeping the balance, like so many different, obviously humans and there's other species throughout the universe. They're on a different frequency. Obviously, obviously it's really being shown to us at the moment. We're on a different frequency than others. But my job in certain realities or lifetimes was to balance the frequencies. So just to see, like, even so, if someone had a higher frequency, someone had a lower frequency, so I try to match their frequencies as much as I can, so be that grounding support to just bring them more into alignment with each other rather than them being so different and so conflicting. But I'm just wondering if that's why I was born a Libran, because Libran's about the balancing scale. So yeah, I thought maybe that's to do with my frequency modulating skills. So maybe you
Yeah.
do that as well.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
balancing the frequencies. Fun. What a fun job on earth. And I actually pulled a card for us today. I pulled one of the Starseed cards, and it is
Ah,
Star Family. So Star Family. So
mm,
you're part of a team of souls. Call in your support. So yeah. So just yeah. I don't know if everyone can see
beautiful.
that. Yeah, so that's something that keeps coming through. Call in your support, but also know that you have it all within you. You are all that is. You can just access anything you want. So it's not about having to go to somebody else, but then at the same time, there is that support there as well. So yeah, super exciting times. Crazy, but exciting. And we're just we got to keep going. We came here for a reason. We don't want to look back as well and say, oh, damn, I should have tried a little bit harder or not, or maybe I should have relaxed a bit more, whatever. For sure. So you are also on Instagram.
Yep.
So yeah, so people can check you out on Instagram as well.
Yeah, come and find me. It's my username is Latha_Jay_. So come find
Perfect.
me. I post videos pretty much every day. I always have some incredible content. Post lots of postings about the moon phases and how to work with the moon energy, about spirituality, about manifesting, energy work, a bunch of the stuff we talked about here, of course. And I always announce, my retreats and stuff like that on Instagram eventually, but initially I'll always first announce it to my private clients and then secondarily to people on my subscribers list, my newsletter list, and then of course people on the internet of the world. But it's been a really cool way to kind of get the message out there because lots of times the retreats will fail even before it hits the Instagram or hits the common spaces that people are. So if you are interested in coming along with me at any point in time, I'd love for you guys to join my newsletter at least and be a part of that. Be in the know. Get the information.
Amazing. So you're still doing the one-on-ones as well at the moment. So
I do, but I'll
you're
I'll
pretty
say that
busy.
they're very limited.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I hear you.
it's blessed to be busy, right?
Mm.
And it's blessed to really be able to hold space for such incredible people. But I have been booked for a very long time, and very rarely do I have the one-on-one offerings available anymore. I will say that I do a lot with people activating their throat chakras and stepping into their voice. I actually host a program called Speak Her, which coaches people to regulate their nervous system, to really center their energy, to learn how to speak on stage. And then within 4 weeks, we are on stage. We are on a stage, a professional stage with a professional film crew, cameras, lighting, all of it. And you're giving a speech on stage, and it's a really profound program. I love it because it challenges people. It challenges people to step up and be in action in their life and it shows them how they can truly activate their own truth, their own self expression, their own voice from within. So, yeah, that's one of the programs that I host. I absolutely love it. And there's a lot of, really fun things that I have the opportunity, the privilege, honestly, to be able to hold space for. And I love it. I love the work that I do. And I always think about, if I didn't have to work, what would I do? And it's always this. It's always this. Like, getting to talk to people and connect, and teaching and sharing knowledge is like totally my jam. And maybe that's the Libra in me or whatever, but I love it.
Wow. Yeah, it sounds like you're doing some really fun stuff. So, since you're so busy, so have you got the one little of your favorite techniques to, ground yourself or get yourself back into alignment, when you wake up or if you're during the day? Is there some have you got a go to? Like I'm always kind of holding a crystal.
I love it. I love crystals. So you can
Yeah.
see behind me, I've got a bunch of crystals. My house is like, we have statues and crystals pretty much everywhere in our house. But I will say that my one go-to, if I'm feeling overwhelmed or just drained or whatever the case is meditation. I will always return back to meditation. I have been meditating for now probably my whole life, honestly, but I really got into transcendental meditation probably almost about 20 years ago at this point, and that is a practice that I have on a daily basis. And even if you can't do 20 in transcendental meditation, we meditate 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes in the evening. Even if you can't commit to that, I would encourage people, hey, do a 2-minute meditation, do a 5-minute meditation, just sit in stillness, right? That brings so much back to us, especially in modern society where everything is go, 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 where there's always something happening, where we're taking in so much information all of the time, just to allow your brain to just be and to sit and be in stillness. So much can happen, and we need that time. Our minds need that time to just allow for a little bit of rejuvenation, a little bit of deeper understanding to happen. And even when we look at it, and I'm explaining on neuroscience terms, but even when we look at it on spiritual terms, I often think that when we're praying, it's us speaking to God, right? But when we're meditating, it's us actually listening for the response. There's so many times that we're just like, God, I need an answer. What should I do next? I need help. Da, 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 da. And we're just talking, right? But we're not taking the time to actually listen to what the universe, to God, our spirit guides, source is actually telling us, the message that can come through. But once we actually get that and we're able to be in meditation, so much opens up for us. So much opens up for us. So I want to encourage people, if you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed or don't know what your next steps are, sit in silence for a few minutes, meditate, make it into a daily practice, and you will see how your life changes.
Great advice. Yeah, it's so true. We don't always listen, do we? We're like, I want this, I want this, I need this, I need this. It's like, and then it's like, oh, okay, when is it happening? Where is it? And we don't even take time to really listen or just, yeah, breathe. So, yeah, great tip there. Well, thank you so much. Honestly, birthday soul sister, love it. Love it. Woohoo. I'll be thinking of you. Oh, I wish I was coming to Bali though. I think we're actually going to the South Island in New Zealand. So yeah, I did actually want to go to Bali this year, but maybe next year. Come to your retreat. Listen, I better do this 24/7 manifesting method to get to your retreats next year.
Yeah, come.
I love it. Oh, well, thank you so much. It's been amazing meeting you. And yeah, everyone can just, I'll put links below for your book and Instagram, and because you've got links on your Instagram as well. So perfect. And yeah, check out the Instagram, everybody, because it's awesome. Yeah, obviously spend a lot of time on there. I love it. Yeah. Thank you. See ya.
Yeah. See you. Thanks for having me.